I grew up in church pretty much my entire life. I don't remember a moment where I wasn't at church. And my biggest problem wasn't whether God existed or not. I think I'd always had this natural belief that there was a creator in the universe. I couldn't wrap my head around life coming from something that wasn't living. So there had to be a creator in my head. That makes sense. My problem was that I didn't know who God was. I didn't know if he cared. Now, I claimed to be a Christian, and because I went to church all my life, I knew the Bible stories. I knew what I'm supposed to be doing, what is good and what is evil. I knew that. I just didn't know who God was. I didn't know if he was the God of the Bible. I can remember my 8th grade year, a day before my birthday, something between my parents happened. My parents being my mom and my stepdad. It was a very depressing time, I'm sure, in everyone's life in that moment. And it was definitely one for mine. It was the worst birthday I've ever had. And I was just so depressed. It wasn't so much that I was sad, it was that I was numb to feelings. And I just wanted to feel something. And I've never claimed to be suicidal. That wasn't something that I agreed with personally. But there was a moment when I was in my room after this had happened that I just wanted to feel something. And I remember putting a belt around my neck and putting it around the hanger or the pole that you hang clothes on in my closet. And I was just going to drop for a little bit just to feel it. It wasn't something like I'm gonna take myself out. I didn't believe in that. But at the same time, I was so numb. So I dropped, and the thought crossed my mind that this isn't so bad, that I could probably stay here. Immediately, a fear entered my mind that I could even think about that. And I rose up. This was over the course of maybe 5, 10 seconds. But I was lightheaded. I was so scared that I was struggling to get the belt off of my neck. And I finally did. And I just dropped to the ground in prayer on my knees. And I said, God, I don't know you. I don't know if you care, but I need to know you. My entire freshman year, I devoted pretty much to learn about what I believed and what was reliable, what made sense to me. I wasn't much of a reader. I did read a few papers online. My way of learning was through video of different preachers, of different religions, of a lot of debates on what to believe and what was reliable. And because I grew up in church, that obviously I think did impact what I listened to the most. But I feel like I had an open mind to other possibilities. I wasn't just looking at Christianity, but I did come to a conclusion right before my sophomore year of high school. I began to pray when I got depressed. And I remember just talking to God and saying, God, I can't do this, but I feel like I know who you are. I feel like you are the God of the Bible, and I want to have a relationship with you. And I think I went to sleep in prayer with tears. And I woke up, and the amount of peace that I had was undeniably unworldly. This was a divine peace that I had never felt before. I remember waking up and just being so happy that I felt this way. And I went downstairs and I told my mom, I think I'm saved. And then I told her, I want to text my stepdad and tell him I love him. And we went bowling that night, and I went to bed that night, and I said, I love you guys, good night. And I felt so good. I want to say that that peak stayed. It didn't. There are times when I've had it very difficult. There were times when I've backslid. There are times when I didn't do the right thing when I should have. It hasn't always been easy, but I can tell you from experience that there is a joy and a peace that only God can give you.